Welcome to Fantasy Smack Talk. Dustin and Nameco here, heading into week 4. A ton to go over. Before we get into a little bit of advice, Brent has something that's been grinding his gears, so get it off your chest.
Here's the deal. For the love of God, Ben Tate is not Arian Foster. It's not the offensive line, and you can just plug in Ben Tate, and he's going to be a beast, and he's been playing so well that Foster's going to be a 60-40 split, probably in favor of Ben Tate. That ain't going to happen. It's Arian Foster's job. When he's 100%, he's getting the majority of the carries. He's the guy to own. Ben Tate doesn't have the vision, the patience to let the hole develop. He doesn't have the catching ability, the blocking skills. Arian Foster was the #1 fantasy running back last year. You can't just plug in Ben Tate and assume he's going to do the same thing. So that's that.
And with that being
Love of God.
It's a great time to buy some guys low right now. You got teams that are desperate, 0-3, 1-2, that might have Arian Foster, Chris Johnson, some of these underperforming guys. Great time to send out some buy low trades.
Ben Tate for Arian Foster, great trade. I know he's got a hamstring injury. He will be healthy at some point.
Great time
Like
to
now.
send out some buy low trades. Those teams are desperate. Take advantage of them if you can.
All right, Dustin, let's get into some of them form questions. We're going to start off with which QB do we want to start here? And the question is, and this is from Kim Bionic. Is that even close?
That's close enough.
All right. The question is, should we be starting Freeman against the Colts or Cam Newton at Chicago?
In the form, this is a post on the homepage as a poll, and it's right now an exactly 50-50 split right now. So the community's struggling with this one as well. But I think the upside here is definitely Newton. I think that game could turn out to be a bit of a shootout. I think it could be one of the classic Carolina games that isn't played in 2 inches of rain.
It is now a classic Carolina game.
Hey, there was 2 out of 3, so
we
maybe can go that stretch.
Side note, I'm going Freeman. I know I said I wouldn't doubt him ever again, and I'm sorry for going back on my word, but just prove it. I'm probably the last person in America, but he's got to prove it one more time.
I'm going Newton, though. I'm going Newton. All right, Brent, we got one from Lewis43 Fantasy. Needs to know which running back he's got best at Dallas or Felix Jones versus Detroit. Right now, 67% is going best.
Come on. He's my Arian Foster 2011 edition. I love me some best. The guy's fantastic. I know the Dallas Cowboy run D has been really good, but here's the deal. He sucks running between the tackles anyway. He's great in a PPR league, but because he catches the ball great out of the backfield, going in the flat, Best is the guy to start here, in my opinion.
I'm giving the slight edge to Jones on this
A lot of bets between us this week.
Dallas, too scary against the run for me.
But I just love Best. He's Arian Foster 2011 edition. All right, which quarterback to start? And this comes from the one called G, obviously. Is Cutler versus Carolina, Schaub against Pittsburgh, or Sanchez at the Ravens of Baltimore?
I mean, some tough matchups here, obviously, with Schaub and Sanchez. You know, Carolina, not that great of or pretty decent matchup, I think, for Cutler. And like I was saying before, I think that could turn into be a bit of a shootout. 50% of the community right now is saying Cutler. So am I. I like that one just a little bit more. Again, I'm thinking maybe even 700 and some passing yards in that game.
Just a little side note, we didn't talk about this one, but I want to take this bet. I will take Sanchez. So sorry, we probably really killed you on all the advice.
Who do you trust more?
Before we get into our next segment, we got to give a quick shout out to our Week 3 Pick'em winner. He's going to be getting a fancy t-shirt entered into that amazing box break, and that is Chuck from Tennessee. We've already been in touch. He's going to be sending you a t-shirt.
And by the way, if the Redskins could have pulled their head out of their ass and won that game, I would have won that week. But hey, good job.
Yeah, he's not bitter at all, clearly. All
right, my studs, duds, and sleepers. LeGarrette Blount's my stud. I love this guy. Obviously, he got off to a slow start, but he's picked it up since then. Good matchup against Indy. I like him this week. My dud, Noshawn Moreno. You know, he's already practicing up to full speed this week. But I still think he's probably going to split with McGahee, going up against a tough run D with Green Bay. I don't like him this week. But, you know, Green Bay is good at stopping the run, but they are not good at stopping the pass. So that's why my sleeper is Eric Decker. The Broncos are probably going to be playing from behind, throwing a lot. I love him this week, especially in PPR leagues. I would start him over a lot of good receivers.
And I got to give a quick compliment to this guy. I never really do, so he better bask in the glory. If you're a big fan of the show, you've been watching the waiver wires from even last year, Dustin, without a doubt, first guy to call Blunt. He was telling you guys to pick him up forever ago. So he loves him so blood. It's good to see that he's in his good graces again.
All right.
My stud is going to be Matty Ice. I love the matchup against Seattle. And the reason why, sure, they're not that great of a secondary, but here's the real stat that's killer. Seattle is allowing opposing quarterbacks a 70% completion percentage.
It's pretty bad.
Seattle, awful. He's going to be throwing all day to Roddy, Julio, everybody. All right, my dud is Nate Washington. And the reason he's my dud, a ton of people probably picked him up, probably going to be playing him as a flex. I say not so fast. He's going up against the best corner you've never heard of in Joe Hayden of the Browns. This guy was a first-round pick last year. I think he was 7th overall. He's a stud shutdown corner. He shut down Wayne. He shut down Marshall. And he's definitely going to shut down Nate Washington. And my sleepers, Greg Olsen going against his former team. Here's the deal. I think he hates Mike Martz. It's already been talks. He's been in Cam Newton's ear all week, telling him he wants the ball. I think they find him. He gets a touchdown this week, and then he gives the double fingers to Mike Martz. Maybe not that last call.
Let's get into Mike's picks.
I mean guns, of course.
His stud. It's going to be Mike Wallace. 2 straight 100-yard games. Houston is the team he's going up against. Not as bad against the pass this year, but he still thinks Wallace is going to get things going. His dud, Sean Green, going up against Baltimore. Green hasn't looked that great. 3.3 yards a carry. Doesn't think he's going to get things going against Baltimore. And his sleeper, James Starks. It's looking like Grant's probably going to miss. They're going up against a weak Denver run D. Starks could definitely be a great start this week, especially, obviously, if Grant doesn't play and if they're playing with a lead, which they probably will.
I'm debating starting him over Steven Jackson, one of my leagues, especially if Grant's out. So.
That should tell you something. So that's it for our Week 4 Start 'em Sit 'em show. Get into those forums. Don't forget to check out boxbreakings.com to see what's going on with that box break.
We're best on the site, best on the web. Got mad hits. You got me great pulls the other night.
You gotta love
it.
that.
A lot of autos.
And get into those games. It's not too late if you want to get a chance to win a part of that box break and also a free t-shirt. And get into those forums. If you got any questions for us, good luck this week.
Peace.